Nyjah Huston, precision and power. Nyjah Huston's career is built on precision and power. From his earliest days, skateboarding was never casual. His father kept a strict focus on discipline, even building a full skate park in their backyard where every mistake had to be corrected immediately. That pressure formed a skater who could handle the biggest stages with composure. Most pros take years to learn. The results speak for themselves. Huston has won 15 X Games gold medals, making him one of the most decorated contest skaters in history. In Street League alone, he racked up 15 first-place finishes across just 21 events, a record that defined the competitive standard of modern street skating. Few have matched his mix of flawless control and consistency under pressure. But the journey wasn't without setbacks. Ahead of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, Huston tore a ligament in his wrist, leaving him unable to skate at his peak. The favorite to win gold instead finished 7th, a result that shocked many who viewed him as nearly unbeatable. What followed was a long recovery, ending in Paris 2024, where he powered back to claim bronze and prove his dominance wasn't fading. Huston's wins also translated directly into business. In 2021, he launched Disorder Skateboards, expanding his influence beyond contests. Add to that Nike SB, Monster Energy, and Beats by Dre sponsorships, and you see how contest victories became long-term brand equity. As of this recording, Nyjah has 5.1 million followers on Instagram. Jah's mix of medals and business set a template younger skaters would follow, and soon, a quieter competitor would take that standard into entirely new territory. Yuto Horigome. You gotta watch out for the quiet ones. A single contest moment defines Yuto Horigome's reputation for composure. In Budapest, with his Olympic qualification on the line, he landed a backside 270 nollie to blunt slide on a handrail. The trick flipped his score at the last second, saving his run. It wasn't just a one-off. He later used the same move in Paris 2024's men's street final, where it scored 97.08 and sealed gold. His climb started in 2017 when he earned his first Street League podium. By Tokyo 2020, he stood at the center of skateboarding history, winning the sport's first Olympic gold medal on home soil. 4 years later, he defended his title in Paris. A rare back-to-back Olympic run that proved his dominance wasn't a passing peak. What makes Horigome stand out is how his public style contrasts with the culture around him. He doesn't play up bravado, but his impact spreads through highly viewed video parts with Nike SB and Red Bull, which showcase his technical sharpness on city streets just as much as on contest courses. That blend of quiet focus and global visibility built his reputation as more than a competitor. In Paris, his final trick comeback defined the storyline. Jagger Eaton had silver locked in. Nyjah Huston looked secure for bronze, but Horigome's closing run pushed him ahead of both, taking gold in the most dramatic way possible. Those battles amplified the audience and brands watching, further extending his reach. Yuto has a cool 2 million follows on Instagram. His story proves that modern skateboarding isn't only about medals, it's about moments that live online and shape global recognition. And the next rider to embody that shift started with a viral backflip in a fairy costume. Rayssa Leal, the fairy that grew wings. Rayssa Leal's Instagram blew up. At a current 8.5 million followers, her path is a reminder that skateboarding legends can start early. She became an internet sensation as a child after a clip of her skating in a tutu spread online. The nickname The Fairy stuck, and that early viral moment preceded a serious competitive trajectory. What looked like playful energy soon revealed one of the strongest competitors in women's street skateboarding. As she matured, the costume image gave way to consistency and technical edge. By 16, she was no longer just participating. She was matching the best in the world. The World Skate Games Italia 2024 showed it clearly. The final came down to her and Momiji Nishia, tied after several runs. Rayssa first scored 88.14, but then delivered the move that changed everything. A kickflip backside Smith grind that judges scored 93.99. That trick pushed her past Nishia and secured the gold, reclaiming the title she had lost the year before. Her composure under pressure confirmed that she wasn't just a one-time viral story, but a dependable contest closer. Beyond competitions, her social media presence extends her influence, turning contest highlights into engagement that strengthens her marketability. For athletes like Rayssa, world titles don't only mean medals. They increase leverage with brands and global media, ensuring her presence continues to grow year after year. Her rise reflects how results, image, and visibility combine into influence. And while her story is about proving herself on the course, the next skater turned early contest fame into something broader. An entire ecosystem built around sport, sponsorship, and media. Sky Brown, skating as a brand ecosystem. She was just 13 when Tokyo 2020 put her on the podium and into history. Sky Brown won Olympic bronze in park skateboarding, becoming one of the youngest medalists of the Games and turning into a symbol of skateboarding's arrival on the Olympic stage. A year later, she backed it up with a victory at X Games 2021 in the women's park event, proving she wasn't a novelty act but a consistent threat in elite competitions. By 15, she was competing against veterans with years of experience and still climbing onto podiums. Her runs showed composure and flow well beyond her age, and her results cemented her among the top women in the sport. But what separates Sky is not just medals, it's how her career operates as a fully developed brand. Major sponsors saw the opportunity early. Nike SB, GoPro, Bones, Independent, and Tech Deck are not just supporting her skating. They're building platforms that merge youth culture, lifestyle, and media around her image. These partnerships reward both her athletic results and her influence with young audiences, turning her identity as an athlete into part of a broader cultural package. She doesn't rely only on contests to carry that influence. A large social following and steady video output on Instagram and YouTube amplify each performance, extending her reach beyond traditional sports coverage. Together with her team, Sky is presented less as an athlete alone and more as a multi-platform brand, spanning sport, lifestyle, and entertainment. Stunning Sky's Instagram. She has 1.3 million hardcore fans from around the world. But her model contrasts sharply with the story of a skater whose identity was built in the streets, long before the Olympics ever entered the picture. Chris Joslin, street first, always. At just 10 years old, Chris Joslin dropped into a 16-foot roll-in. That single act captured what would define his skating: fearlessness. His upbringing was far from stable, shaped by financial struggles. But his grandmother provided the consistency that allowed him to focus on skating. That balance of hardship and support produced a skater who never followed a polished system, but carried raw commitment into everything he did. Joslin's career never centered on point totals or rankings. He's not anti-contest, but his reputation, built on fearless parts and raw street footage, proved equal currency to medals when brands hired him. Sponsors noticed. His parts with Plan B skateboards showcased his ability to clear massive gaps and handle some of the most daunting terrain. And his long-standing place on Bones wheels reinforced his credibility as a skater whose value came directly through hardware and boards, not contest circuits. Video was always his strongest currency. His parts made waves across platforms, with coverage like his iconic 360 flip on the barracks becoming proof that street footage could rival contest highlights in reach and impact. Those clips traveled far, building an audience that recognized him as one of the few modern pros whose reputation stands entirely on the street. No podium required. Chris Joslin shows that in skateboarding, street credibility holds value equal to Olympic medals. Yet, as his career anchors the street-first tradition, another skater built his identity by bringing personality and performance together in the contest spotlight. Oops, almost forgot. SLS Santa Monica champ, Chris Joslin hit a 1 million follows milestone on his Insta. Jagger Eaton, the showman of street. Jagger Eaton's story has always been about visibility on big stages. Named after the Rolling Stones singer, he grew up around expectations, and by 2012, he was making headlines at just 11 years old as one of the youngest competitors in X Games history. That early breakthrough introduced him to the global skate audience, long before most riders his age had entered their first major contest. For a while, Eaton's image carried the weight of being the kid to watch, but steady contest results gradually built him into something more. Instead of fading, he turned youth attention into long-term competitive credibility, placing consistently in Street League and other international events. That persistence gave him the foundation for what became his biggest milestones on the Olympic stage. In Tokyo 2020, Eaton won bronze in men's street, claiming the first skateboard medal ever for the United States. 4 years later in Paris, he went further, taking silver. His final runs positioned him directly against the sport's superstars, passing Nyjah Huston for second and finishing just behind Yuto Horigome. A highlight came with his nollie 270 switch backside nose blunt down the hubba, scored at 95.25, which confirmed his ability to deliver under pressure. Achievements like that don't just matter for rankings. They drive audience buzz and sponsor attention. As his Olympic profile rose, sponsorships and media exposure followed, expanding his reach beyond contests into broader recognition. Eaton's balance of competitive precision and public presence demonstrates how results convert into influence. His nearly 500,000 followers on IG proves it. And when you look across all 6 skaters, a larger picture emerges about what the sport now represents. Modern pro skateboarding runs on a 2-engine model. Contest results create credibility and headline moments, while social and video output turn those moments into global brands. Each of these 6 skaters shows the formula in action. Nyjah Huston converted contest dominance into a foundation for his own company. Yuto Horigome built global storytelling out of last trick drama. Rayssa Leal and Sky Brown turned viral beginnings into medals and youth-driven sponsorships. Joslin's fearless street parts gave him enduring hardware credibility. Jagger Eaton transformed early records into sustained contest success. Which of these skaters best represents the future of skateboarding? Competition first, content first, or both? Tell us below.